Welcome all to the Plutus IAS. Today I'll be taking another topic which are very important for the geography. As you know, the prelims is just near, and before that the recapitulation and revision is very important. So I have taken some of the most important topics of geography. This topic is from the climatology, and I hope that majorly you have covered your syllabus. This is just to give you a quick recap of the important topics, and we will be going through the questions. So the first question is on the climatology. With reference to atmospheric pressure, consider the following statements. The first statement is atmospheric pressure increases with altitude. So there are certain terms that you have to focus. For example, increases. Just focus whether the statement is right or wrong. You have to underline some of the keywords in the statement. Then second is low pressure systems are generally associated with clear skies and calm weather. Okay. So this is what we have done already. In atmospheric pressure we have studied that as the insolation is coming in some area, then what will happen? It will create a low pressure conditions, right? And high pressure conditions will be created where the insolation is not that much, or maybe you can consider that where the air is descending, right? So in high pressure condition the air descends, in the low pressure condition the air ascends, okay, right? So in the low pressure condition what will happen? It is a phenomena which is generally seen with what? There is rainfall, there is storm, there is cloud formation, but in high pressure condition it is having calm and clear sky, right? This low pressure condition in India you see mostly in monsoon time, like from June, July, August, September, right? And in high pressure condition it is seen in the winter nights, right? Okay. So what is the low pressure? Basically when an area is having what? Relatively warmer. If an area is relatively warmer than this place, this is point A, this is point B is relatively warmer than the point A, then what will happen? The air will likely to rise and expand, and when the air rises and expand, what will happen? When the air rises and expand, it will exert less pressure, and when it exerts less pressure, the air column is having what? Less of density. It has less of density, and hence what will happen? Atmospheric pressure increases or decreases with altitude? It decreases. Okay. So the first statement is wrong. It decreases with altitude. Low pressure systems are generally associated with clear sky. This is also wrong because I have just explained it is the condition of high pressure systems. Okay. It is a condition of high pressure systems. Now the third statement is saying most of the atmospheric mass is concentrated in troposphere. Which of the following statements are correct? So do you think that most of the atmospheric mass is concentrated in troposphere? Yes, it is true, because 75% of the atmospheric mass is concentrated in troposphere. Rest of it is concentrated in stratosphere, ionosphere, mesosphere and exosphere. So rest of them are distributed in such way, right? So first statement is incorrect, second is incorrect, third is also what? Correct, right? So only statement which is correct is your statement B, third only. The next question number 2 is atmospheric pressure is higher at the poles compared to the equator. Atmospheric pressure varies horizontally but remains uniformly vertical. Now this is little tricky question. How you have to understand this? First of all, see the condition at the poles and at the equator. Why this question important? This question is also important because same thing, Coriolis force was asked in 2024 in PYQ, right? So statement 1 is saying atmospheric pressure is generally higher at the pole. Why? Because the colder air is denser and exerts more pressure, while warmer air at the equator is expanding and creating less pressure. Now understand the condition at the poles is such. Why? Because the air is descending. Why it is descending? Because obviously it has a frigid zone. The air is likely to descend. Therefore, what will happen? When the air descends, it will exert more pressure. Why? So first of all, it is not expanding, right? It is concise, it is not expanding, it is not lighter in weight, but at the equator it ascends. Why? It ascends because having more insolation, because as you know maximum insolation comes at the equator and also till the Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer, the insolation is very high. Because of the more insolation, air will rise and expand. Therefore, what we have, atmospheric pressure is higher at the pole compared to the equator is right. Second statement says atmospheric pressure varies horizontally but remains uniformly vertical. Is it even possible that vertically you will have the uniformity, right? It is not at all possible. The statement in itself is incorrect. Why? Because as you know, horizontally, if we will have the pressure difference, then what will happen? High pressure, low pressure condition. That's why high pressure winds blow from this area to this, high pressure to low pressure. This is a universal law which we have been following. The winds always blow from high pressure to low pressure, right? These are the winds. And stronger the difference is, the extreme the wind's condition and the speed will be. Okay. So horizontally definitely there is what? It varies, but also it varies uniformly, vertically also it varies, right? Not only horizontally, it varies vertically also, right? So second statement is incorrect. The only statement which is correct is first. Also we can see the explanation. Horizontally pressure difference varies in the temperature and wind patterns, and vertically it decreases with altitude. This we have already talked about many times about the pressure. So definitely vertically also this differs. Now you can see the factors which are contributing to the horizontal distribution of atmospheric pressure on Earth's surface. These include solar radiation, Earth's rotation, as I have already talked about, insolation, this is one of the most important factor. Then topographical features, oceanic currents also is responsible major factor for that. Next is redistribution of heat energy through atmospheric circulation patterns. Now what are the reasons which are affecting the vertical distribution? These are gravity, temperature, moisture content and weather systems. The next question is, consider the following factor. How many of the above factors significantly influence horizontal distribution of the atmospheric pressure? This is the repetition of the previous concept, but the question type is different. Okay, it is saying how many factors influence the horizontal distribution. Now understand Coriolis force. If I talk about the option B, Coriolis force is basically responsible for the deflection of the wind, whether to the right or to the left depends upon where the wind is blowing, whether it is blowing in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, right? Then the humidity levels, obviously if the higher humidity is there, then it is likely to bring what? More differ in the temperature, right? Difference in the temperature will be brought by the humidity. Then what will happen if the humidity is very high? It will likely to bring rainfall in that area and going to decrease the temperature of that area. Next, rotation of the earth. everything is because of the rotation of the earth, whether you talk about certain factors, right? Now talking about the temperature inversion, right, whether it is responsible for it or not, right? So this we have to understand. Three topics we have talked about. Now what about a temperature inversion, whether it will bring the difference or not? So temperature inversion where warm air sits. So what is the concept? First understand the concept, what is the temperature inversion. So temperature inversion is a phenomena. What will happen? It happens in some of the places where the cold winter nights, right, what will happen? The area which is just near to the surface of the land, because as you know, because the land is very cold in the night time, then what will happen? The area surrounding it, it will also become cold. Because of that, it is cold, and the area above it, the air above it is warm. The air above it is warm. Why? I am using the word relatively warm, relatively warmer as compared to this, right? And why it is cold? Because the molecules which are present just near to the surface of the earth, which is cold, is also transferring what? The colder air to the area surrounding it. Okay, so this is cold, this is warm. Now we have studied that what happens as we go higher, as the air goes higher, the temperature decreases. We call it as the lapse rate, right? The lapse rate, what happens? The temperature of the air decreases always, right? For example, it is 20 degrees Celsius here, so it will be, as it go higher, it will be 10 degrees Celsius. But in the temperature inversion, this phenomena is getting violated. Why? Because of this reason that the colder air is near to the surface, the energy, the transfer of the what? Cooler wind will likely to make this place cooler, and the air above it will be relatively warmer, right? Then what will happen? This phenomena is known as temperature inversion. And what will happen here? The smog, pollutants, are going to get trapped here, right? Therefore, what we have? Fog in the wintry mornings, right? We have seen that we have the fog in the morning. Why? Because there is a trapping of the pollutants in this. Okay. Also, you can just run through the explanation here. Temperature inversion where warm air sits on the top of the cooler air affects the horizontal distribution by creating a stable atmospheric layer that hinders vertical mixing. This stability can trap pollutants, as I have already mentioned this. Now, this is also the reason, okay, that Coriolis force influenced the horizontal distribution of air and water by deflecting it to the right, to the northern hemisphere, and to the left in the southern. Humidity level also influence. Yes, we have studied. Rotation also influence. Yes. So all of the four factors are responsible for it. Okay. Okay, the next question is about the pressure belts. One of the most easiest question of all the questions that we have taken. It is saying which you consider the following pressure belts: equatorial low pressure belt, polar high pressure belt, subtropical high pressure belt, and subpolar low pressure belt. Which of the following pressure belts are thermally induced? So we have read the concept that there are two dynamically induced, two are thermally induced. So if I look at this diagram, so you know that area which is this, polar regions are what? And the equator. This polar and the equator are what? They are thermally induced. What do you mean by that? It is thermally induced because of the reason that insolation is directly coming over this area. Therefore, they are thermally induced. And there is less insolation going to the polar region. That's why they are what? or they are also thermally induced, reason being because the insolation is not higher, because we have also studied in the previous lectures that the rays coming here are in a very slanting way, therefore the insolation is not higher in these areas. And the other belts, which are your subtropical high pressure belts, they get dynamically induced. Why? Because of the reason. What do you mean by dynamically induced? Because of the reason it descends. For example, the air which is going up from the equator, it likely to descend at the subtropical high pressure belt. Okay, the air which ascends from the equator, it is likely to descend at the subtropical high pressure belt. Since it is descending here, and because of the relatively difference in the temperatures of these two areas, therefore what will happen? It is dynamically induced. Okay. Also you can quickly read the explanation. It is located to the equator. Belt forms due to the intense heating. This we have discussed. Creating a low pressure region, definitely. Polar high pressure found near poles, extreme cold, that this is also we have discussed, right? That therefore they both are dynamically induced. Subtropical high pressure, dynamically induced. This belt results from descending air currents from the Hadley cell. This is what I was explaining here, how it is descending. Now subpolar low pressure, this is also the same reason will be applied there also. Okay, the last question for the day is, the first question says the subtropical high pressure belt are known as horse latitude. The second is, these pressure belts are formed due to sinking of the air currents that move towards the pole from the equatorial low pressure belts. So first of all, the first one is very static. If you would have done the climatology, this is the most easiest option that you would ever come across. The subtropical high pressure belts are horse latitude. Yes, definitely they are known as horse latitudes. And why? There is a reason behind it, because at that time what used to happen, because the traders used to take in their ship a lot of horses, and because of the high pressure region which has been created here, the air is descending, then what is not happening, the winds are not blowing, therefore it was very difficult for them to move the ship. So they used to just discard, or they used to just get rid of the horses in between, in the midway of their journey, right? The second is, these pressure belts are formed due to the sinking of air currents that move from the area. So understand, the subtropical high pressure belt is characterized by a zone of high pressure located on 30 degree, please note this thing, 30 degree north and 30 degree south. Okay, the statement 2 is also correct. Why? Because the subtropical pressure belt is a reason of why it is being created. This is being created because of the descendant of the air, because the air is descending there. Why? Sinking of air currents that originate from equatorial low pressure. As air rises in the equatorial region due to the intense heating, it moves poleward, higher altitude, right? As I have told you, what is happening? Equator, from equator, the low pressure region is being created, the air is rising upwards. Okay, the air is rising upwards, and it is rising upwards, what will happen? The air is here, it is expanding, and now what it is doing, it is descending here at subtropical high pressure belt. Okay, so which of the following statements are correct? Both 1 and 2, both are correct. Okay, so this is the important topic that I have taken from the geography climatology topic. There are more topics that has to be discussed from the climatology. This is just from the atmospheric pressure we have cleared the concept. Stay tuned to the series, and I hope this brings lot of insights from the climatology, and you will be able to do the best in the exam. Thank you.